Hello there friends and welcome. Today I have some very amusing but also exciting news for Pathfinder. The latest patch, which was just recently released, 2.0.5, actually stealthily added a very powerful feat to the game. When I say stealth added, it's because it's not in the patch notes at all, despite how useful this feat is. So as I was working on my Inquisitor guide and going through the build progression, while choosing the feats, something immediately stood out. Lunge. I'm pretty used to the feat selection. Well, I can say 100% that this was definitely not here before. Of course, I had to check it out, and here we go. You can increase the reach of your melee attacks by 5 feet until the end of your turn by taking a -2 penalty to AC. This is actually extremely powerful, as I will soon explain, and it really took me by surprise, so the first thing I did was head to the patch notes and there was nothing about it, which is strange considering how amazing it is. So after that I went to the official Pathfinder rules website and I managed to find Lunge there, exactly as described here. It can only be picked at 6 base attack bonus, and that's it. There really is no other requirement whatsoever. It's not something, unique to Inquisitor. Anyone can pick it so long as they have 6 base attack bonus. For high BAB classes like Fighter, Ranger and so on, it's right at level 6. For medium base attack bonus classes, most of them, at level 8, most likely level 9, as this is when you get a feat to select. So you can add this to pretty much any mini build you want. Let me explain how Reach actually works, so we can understand what makes it so powerful. Reach means the melee attack range of your character, that is, how far they can be away from the enemy to actually attack them. By default, you have pretty low reach, the yellow circle around me here, but there are ways to enhance it, usually through size, including size buffs, or also reach weapons. On the other hand, the smaller your character size, the less reach you have too. So, without any reach, my medium character would be able to attack enemies at the edge of the yellow circle. Now let us activate Lunge, which grants us an extra 5 feet reach. Notice how wider that circle just became. So now we can hit enemies even at melee from a much bigger distance. The main benefit is, well, the longer the distance between yourself and the enemy, the less the chances that they will attack you, especially because you can put tank characters between yourself and the enemy, like pets and so on, so the enemies will focus on the tank while you can easily attack from behind. This also lets your character fully focus on offense, without having to bother with any defensive feat whatsoever, so the actual penalty to AC from Lunge means nothing to you. The best part about Reach is it can actually stack, so we have an extra 5 feet from Lunge. Now let's use Enlarged Person on ourselves, which increases our size by 1 step. Once again, the yellow circle got way wider. We can go even further. The ultimate size spell, Legendary Proportions, can increase your size by 2 steps, instead of enlarge, which is just 1. So let's use that now. We once again got bigger, and just take a look at our circle. Once again, our melee range became way bigger. And it doesn't stop there. All of this has been done without a reach weapon, just a normal great axe. Now let's try it with an actual reach weapon, such as Glaive, Fauchard, Bardiche, and also long spears. And there we go, even more attack range, to the point we are close to shooting our weapon at the enemy, or poking them from super far away. Reach can even increase the range of touch spells too, although in this case it's usually from size spells only. The benefits don't stop there. Reach is even especially useful for turn-based mode, because here, you don't have as much movement potential as in real time with pause. After all, if you take beyond a 5-foot step to move, which is just a very short amount, your character will lose the ability to full attack, that is, you only attack once, which is of course awful. For example, if I go for the Locust here, or the Succubus, I can only attack once. Meanwhile, because of our huge reach, we can take a 5-foot step and still full attack the SKALD here, something that would not have been possible otherwise. And of course, you want as high damage as possible, always. Another great part is it works as a toggle, just like power attack, so you simply have to turn it on, and that's it. It will be left on forever. And of course, the fact it even works together with power attack, and most importantly, the charge ability is great as well. So that's amazing synergy we're getting. It's not something that you have to choose. Reach isn't just about putting distance between yourself and the enemy, so you don't have to worry about getting hit. Some other feats also work wonderfully with it. For example, Cleave and Cleaving Finish. Cleave will grant you an attack against a nearby enemy, while Cleaving Finish after you kill an enemy. With Reach, you eliminate the need of the enemies being packed close together. The same can be said about the extremely useful Outflank. The more reach you have, the more enemies you can be flanking at the same time, which means whenever allies score a critical hit, you'll get a free attack from even far away. Plus, with high reach you can even get free attacks of opportunity, because whenever the enemy moves towards you, while your round has already come or you have combat reflexes, you will hit them. The same as, for example, if they were moving away from you. Lastly, reach isn't just useful for strength-based characters. Dexterity ones can also highly benefit from it, such as CAMELLIA. Usually the characters that are all about dexterity cannot wield reach weapons. You're either dual wielding or one-handing light or finessable weapons such as rapiers, scimitars, kukris, daggers, and so on. The end result is you don't have decent reach, so you need to be super close to the enemy to attack them. Of course, you can still increase your character size, like I did with CAMELLIA here for some reach, which is even better with Lunge. This also frees even dexterity-based characters from having to bother with armor class at all. I know it's a lot easier for dex characters to get high AC, but the thing is, you still need to specialize in it, at least for the normal characters, to get really high amounts. And for the early and some of the mid-game, it's really annoying, at least in my opinion, because, well, you have to sacrifice a lot. If you want to go all out on AC early on, you will have the most awful attack bonus possible. Your character will just do that tank. This is why I vastly prefer leaving tanking to pets, as they don't have to sacrifice anything at all to still be good tanks. Let's take a look at the Leopard, for example. Even at the early levels, you can have super high AC, except it also has high attack bonus, even 3 attacks per round, one of which has knockdown. And it gets even better from there onwards, without any feat spent into defensive stuff or annoying early multiclassing which will delay your main class abilities progression. As a matter of fact, the only single melee build in the game that I don't think should get lunge is of course tank builds. After all, you don't want penalties to your AC, and you want to be directly next to the enemy, so they actually focus on you, instead of your squishier allies. So for my pets, for example, I won't bother picking this, especially as they already have reach from their size anyways. In the end, I imagined this feat getting in was kind of an oversight. It was probably planned to be added eventually, kinda like the change to Elemental Barrage, where it wasn't supposed to be at that patch, but it got in anyways. And it actually stayed since then, so I imagine Lunge is also here to stay. Plus, if you're giving me something so good, OCAT, well, I'm taking it. Thank you very much. As usual, please remember to like and subscribe, even become a channel member for some neat support. Thank you for watching and see you next time, friends, with my Inquisitor guide.